Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. If you don't know by now that I totally adore Devin Townsend, then you haven't seen the multiple videos and tea time interview that I got to do with him. And I hear he's dropping a new album soon that features an entirely new side of Heavy Devi. So that's going to be really exciting. And they're releasing a single from that album today. I have to say thank you to Devin and team for giving us early access to this so that we could drop our analysis moments later. Let's get to it. This is really pretty. It's just like super lovely, which is really, really fun to hear, especially when I've seen Devin live and just screaming like crazy on stage at Bloodstock. Wow, that was amazing. Anyhow, there's a lovely lightness to his sound, and you can hear a lot of the air and sort of the sizzle on the sound as well. It's like almost like the EQ in the top part was pushed up a little bit so we could really hone in on these silvery tones in his voice. But also there's just a beautiful wide reverb on the track that makes us feel like we're out in a cold, echoey expanse. It's beautiful. It's like I can hear the crystals in the snow. Okay, I want to go back to the beginning. This really is a different sound from Devin. Huh. It's interesting to me. I hear that horn and I think of like a fog horn on a ship. I think that might have been a sequel there. But on the other hand, we're going on a train. So I wonder if I'm mistaking that sound or if we're just talking about all kinds of different transportation. No, definitely seagulls. Oh, and there was a boat there. Maybe we're traveling from the sea to a mountain. What do these chairs say? God jewel. More. I love that still of Devin there. That's really what Devin's like. I feel like a lot of times when I've talked to him or seen a really lovely congratulatory message from him from the 1 million party, oh, that was so sweet. He's just been hanging out with his cat and drinking something warm, probably some really delicious green tea, or it could be lots of other things. We had a lovely discussion about things that he likes to drink. Anyhow, he's just a very real, wonderful person. Right, you hear the spaciousness in the sound. That's what I was talking about. This like a longer trail on the verb. It feels very expansive and spacious. it's beautiful. A beautiful echoing up higher of his voice there in the layers. I think there's probably a backup singer that he's got. The the nice ease and gentleness of his voice is very, very pleasant. He's one of those people that is able to sing such pleasant, soothing sounds and also terrify you with monster noises. Oh, I like the words there. Like the words reaction is to freak out. Don't you freak out. I know that he wrote a lot of this during pandemic closure, couldn't be on tour. Apparently he was watching these videos of the train going, I think Railway Cowgirl, I think, was the person he got a lot of this footage from. So he was watching a bunch of her videos of this just continuous going to try and help keep him zoned and not freaking out during the pandemic. So I really like, I like the way he's expressive on that word too. Before in the verse, we had essentially this really lovely, soothing, lots of air flowing kind of tone, right? And then we get a much more pressed sound, much more belted, heavy mechanism involved as well, which, you know, has more of a freak out nature about it. Let's go back a little bit. Right there is your very soft, breathy, a lot more pressed here. That's closer to the Devin that I know and am familiar with, and the way he gets that full body behind his sound. But it's interesting to hear it in this kind of production. I know he collaborated with a producer on this, I want to say Garth? It's 3 G's. And I know that there was a collaboration involved there, and it's fun to hear something that almost feels like more poppy in combination with that really heavy Devi kind of sound here in the chorus. Right there, that's a much heavier vocal mechanism. I get so excited when I see little things that look like octopi tentacles, and that's because, if you don't know, channel mascot is Krakino, who's over here in the corner with me, and Krakino came from watching a Devin video called Why. You can find that on the channel, by the way. Just octopuses, octopi, there are multiple actually acceptable ways of that being plural. But anyhow, they're wonderful creatures, and I have to thank Devin for that. Yay! Wow, I feel like this album should have another title, which is Soft Devi instead of Heavy Devi. This is the soft side of Devi. It's got so much kush in the sound, right? It's smooth. It's relaxing. I mean, like I could hear at least the verses. You could hear that at a spa. Maybe the choruses, when you get that more full sound, like that's blending the two zones, but it's really, right, it's sweet. It's like a vocal caress right there. That's such beautiful, subtle vocal layering there. I love it. I love the harmonies, the ease of it, the way it sounds like it just almost lifts the entire texture up. Right. And so one of the differences between these two sounds is just a feeling of more air escaping, like a feeling of a sigh, throughout the first verse sound. And then in the second sound, it's a feeling of the air supporting. And air really truly supports in both ways, right? You always need a flow of it to sing. Okay? You have to have a flow of air to sing. It doesn't function any other way. But in the second sound, there's a feeling of that air almost gathering underneath the larynx. And that's going to create a little bit more volume and body in the sound, right? It can essentially create more force of collision as well in the chords. So this creates a sound that's louder. It can be considered more pressed at times too. That can be happening with some other things in the mechanism. But anyhow, difference between the two sounds is partly found in just how that air is being channeled. I really like the way he sings that top bit because it has so much emotion in it. It's just really full of, that's an emotion. Cool. It's interesting the way he's using the F and the R of freak. He's essentially anchoring a little lower, hooking into it. Sometimes you'll hear a much more, I want to say, definitive version of this technique where tenors will hook into a note that's lower and then bounce up to a higher note. It can help get body in the sound and sort of charge up that higher note. It is a technique to hook. So he's doing it by hooking just a little bit lower, not like a full fourth, the way that some operatic tenors might hook. And really using the F and the R, which is an interesting consonant as well, sometimes called an R-colored vowel. Anyhow, really leaning into the sound with those two immediately to bring in a heavier feeling overall to the voice. Another thing that I wanted to mention is in his description of this, he said, it's about not letting the chaos of the world shake you. And I definitely get those vibes from the music video and just from the song of like the video, it feels like there's so much that's happening and going by, but somebody's just staying centered on track. And in the song, you have these moments of angst when he sings Freak with this hook into it, full body sound. But then all around in the music, there's a soothing nature about it. So you can feel this almost running of the track going by, and it feels calming despite a moment of angst. Ooh. Huh. It was a really cool transition from real world footage to this animated version. And I liked that we took what felt like almost like a transition in the guitar strings for that triangular tunnel. Huh. There's a beautiful full feeling in this. Lots of release. It's beautiful. Really beautiful. It feels very emotional. Devin is an incredibly emotional singer, an intuitive singer, and I feel that shining through here very, very brightly. I think that makes so much sense with the album. The whole album is called Lightwork. And let's see a little bit about it. It's saying that the act of creating music as a kind of light in the dark, that's one of the things that the album represents, and essentially that can help us to navigate challenges in life. That music essentially is that light for us. And I love that in a lot of these images, we have moments of going towards a light. It feels very indicative of what the whole album is aiming for us to do. Let's go back a little bit. I love the vocal layerings in there. I'm gonna go back one more time. I think that there's another singer in here that does some layering with him too. It is beautiful and light and fluffy, and I really like it. It might just be Devin. I don't think so. I think there's another one. VMAX, 80 kilometers per hour. That's so satisfying in the way that it goes into this white brilliance, and then we get a drop of the fullness, especially in the bass of the music with that. So when you see the earth, the same reaction to follow your heart, the worst reaction is to freak out. So don't you freak out. So if you feel I just love the expansive production that's on his vocal. I think he's probably doubled it, or it was doubled in production perhaps. It feels widespread again, so I'm not just having the vocal totally center, but it feels pan, and it feels like it's surrounding me, or at least maybe not behind me, but I feel it in the sides very keenly. It is a beautiful, subtle hand with the layering as well. Again, all very fluffy, all very soothing. Really lovely production. Woo, that's pretty. us, kind of evolving somewhere. This is fun, this moment here. I like the delayed hit there. Okay, I think that the words there were, don't you freak out, but feel free to close the door. I like that sentiment, and I feel that that speaks to the very introverted side of Devin that's like, hey, world's going crazy. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to make some music. And music is just so therapeutic to make, right? That's that light. Everything can be going crazy outside. You can be making music and totally zen inside. Why is this so soothing? I feel like there must be some sort of research that was done on this about why it is so relaxing to be on the front of a train. I know that this is a thing that many people watch these endlessly, including Devin. I just wonder what it is about that makes us feel calmer. If you guys have any links to research, let me know, because it definitely has a great feeling. Wow, I feel very lifted. I feel very, very lifted. I was noticing when this higher synth first came in, I was like, oh, I feel like a little celestial being has entered the picture. Where is it? Right there. Right? It's right. It feels like an angel or something. And then it all shifts to higher sounds. Dropping the percussion too. Interesting. It feels just floaty now. So up until this point, the song mostly felt like it was falling into more of a classic structure, a popular structure, like verse, chorus, maybe a little bit of adjustment and a bridge. There was a really interesting evolution of the chorus at one point as well. But now it feels extremely progressive to me in the way it's shifted and is going more with the story and bringing in elements we didn't hear before. It feels very meditative as well. Again, spa. Huh. Right on ending. Oh, back to the sea. How very suiting that we return to the realm of cephalopods with the end of that. This entire track feels so meditative in nature, and I love the way that Devin is bringing us into this very calm Zen zone with this sound. I didn't expect that, even having worked some on this album with him. I know, oh my gosh, what? Yeah, that happened. I still can't believe it happened. I did some backing vocals with a couple of friends as well. in a couple of tracks, which have yet to be released, and I haven't actually heard them all in their entirety. And still, this track was a surprise to me. So it's beautiful to hear how the genius of Devin continues to evolve. If you'd like to see some other analysis, you can check that out over here in this playlist. You can even find that interview with him there where he reveals his genius and life philosophy. And I hope that all of you will fall more in love with music every day. Thank you.